Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we've got this mess going on here. And what we need to do right now is we actually need to get more cooling here for our drill-o-matic mining excavator. This thermal control system isn't doing the trick, so we need to go get another one. So Dunvan is going to hop on out over here, and yes, this is a giant mess right now and we need to get that cleaned up. We will be working on that. That is actually the plan for this episode, is to hopefully get some of this mess cleaned up and get this thing disassembled. So for now, we're just going to hop over here and we're going to grab this thermal control system. Can we store this in our inventory? Is it small enough? Let's find out. That would be very convenient if it was. So we need to, hang on, I gotta click and hold this. No. Okay, it's too big. That's fine. Good to know. If you can store it in the inventory, that makes it a lot easier, but the fact that we can do this with just one Kerbal is definitely a bonus. No doubt about that. Okay, so if we need somewhere over one of these, and I don't know how much over one of these there are that we need, then that's going to be, well, actually, we don't need to run all of these at once. One of these is likely enough to run this, if I'm honest. So that's fine. We can just continue to work on expanding this once we get this actually crafting, which is going to be a fairly big deal. So let's move this out over here for now. And I do want to get this thing up on more landing legs. That's going to be a very useful thing to do. So for now, we can just put this right about here. And then I want to make sure that it's attached probably right next to this one. So that would end up going about right here. And I want it to be attached to the fuel tank. So we'll just put that on right there. And then we'll extend that radiator. And it'll go something like that. It's slightly clipped together, but it's very, very similar. Okay, so I don't want to break that when we jump here, so I'm going to hop over this way. There we go. And we're going to grab this. Now, we're in a much better orientation here, so we should be able to extend this solar panel. And now we can board, and I want to take a look at what the cooling levels on these are. So this is currently rising, and this is falling, but we're going to need to turn on our surface harvester here. Okay, this is holding, or it was holding, at 500 Kelvin. It's slowly ticking up right now. Okay. So we may yet need more cooling. We can see that these radiator panels are definitely cooling as well. And the temperature of the convertatron is slowly ticking up as well. So cooling is absolutely going to be a concern here. We may want to put another radiator here, and then another radiator here, although that's going to clip, I think, maybe a little bit. But we're definitely going to need some work on that. So we can see that the cooling of this thermal control system is going down while this one is still rising. So I'm interested in seeing what that ends up looking like. We can see that the thermal efficiency of this convertatron is holding at this point. So we're definitely making liquid fuel and oxidizer right now. This is not enough to run this smelter for a long period of time. That's understood. The main concern right now is that we clearly need more cooling for this drill-o-matic. So let's leave that running for now, and let's send Dunvan over to grab another one of these. So we do have multiple of these drills, but we probably don't need them. But we have quite a lot of these cooling panels, so we can absolutely go grab those, and that'll be fine. This was the best landing job ever right here, no doubt about that. So we're going to bring this over, and we're going to install this, perhaps like right here. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, we're just going to need to move this a little bit at a time here. And then I would like to get some amount of landing leg set up for this. So I'm thinking about how we might want to do that. I'm thinking a landing leg like here and here on the sides, and then one on the far side, if we can attach it there, which we may or may not be able to. We'll have to see. We know this fertilizer is a bit of an issue as well. And we're going to have to get additional fertilizer over here with science, and we will get there. So for now, everything is looking reasonably fine. And yes, this Stampatron keeps changing its, like, where it's at on the ground for us, which is actually quite bad. So we probably want to consider undeploying this Stampatron, which I don't actually know how we end up doing that. But for now, we can do this, and then I'm thinking like right here. So this radiator would attach approximately here or so. Like that. With the idea being, we clearly need additional cooling over here. Okay, we'll hop in. And the question is, how much cooling do we need? We can always get larger thermal control systems if we need to as well. So we'll let that go, and we can see that that's beginning to go up. This is now dropping in its core temperature, so that's good. This over here is still... Actually, this is now dropping in its core temperature as well. So I think that's clear that the heat is transferring over to here. And in that case, this is absolutely fine. Our heating is looking good then. Yeah, I think this is okay. So at this point, we can take a look at how much ore we have, and the answer is we're not building up any ore right now, although the efficiency on this will change. So 3 of these, huh? That's intriguing for sure. So we can see our ore rate is 0.02, and currently this Convertatron is working away, but it's at a 0.37% load. That's understood. So we can continue to let that work for now. And while that's happening, I want Dunvin to EVA, and the idea is we're going to come over here and see about adding a landing leg over here. Now, I don't know how possible this even is over here. It may not allow us to do this, and I'm going to quick save before we do it in case there's wacky physics here. But let's, we're too far to grab this part? Okay. That was not what I wanted you to do, Dunvin. Up you go. RCS on. And we're just going to hop over here. Cool. So we're going to grab this landing leg. The idea is I'd like to attach it over here. But yeah, it doesn't allow surface attachment to this part. So to that end, we could attach it to these parts. Okay. I think that's reasonably fine. So if we attach this here, then we could do another one over on this side, and then we could do one here and one here, and then, like, at least temporarily, one over here. That should be reasonably stable. We've got lots of landing struts around here. I'm not too concerned about number of landing struts. So we can go over and start grabbing some of these. There's actually one way out over here. So we can grab this guy and start moving this on over. And then we can move both of these at the same time once we get over here. So we definitely want to clean up some of this and make this a little bit more presentable. This is a giant mess right now, for sure. But it is a functional mess, so that's progress. So we're going to move this on up over here, and we're going to need a waste recycler because we're going to need to recycle these mining drill juniors as well as some of these other components like the resource scanner. That's definitely something that we're going to want to recycle. But eventually this will get filled up and that'll be wonderful. So we're just going to place this up over here. That looks good. And now we're going to have to start moving both of these. So we're going to place this guy about here, and then this guy about here. That'll be fine. And we're just going to need to get these on over. We've got a ways to go. So this can go about here, and then this can go about here. Now, I'm not going to take the landing struts on our escape vehicle for right now. You'll note our escape vehicle has remained pretty much intact, and that is very deliberate. There have been a few things removed from it, but to be honest, not even all that much. There are still some definite parts I want to remove from it, though. So we're going to take this out over here. There we go. And we're going to want to grab the batteries from up here, too. That's going to be a thing that we want to attach right up over here. But for now, this is looking reasonably fine. We want to get to the point where we can make parts here. That's the true end goal of this particular project. This doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to function. So I'll just move these guys right on up. And I'm going to put one of these landing legs right here, facing up. I'm not going to deploy it yet. So we can grab this guy, and that'll get attached right here. It is facing the correct direction, and yeah, it's going to clip in a little bit. That's understood. Now this one, we're going to start moving up over this way. Once we have this online, I'm afraid that it's going to tip facing that way, so that's a current concern. So we're going to move this guy right up over here. There we go. And yeah, eventually we'll get these Gigantors repaired. But for now, they will do. And then I want to rotate this guy around over here. That should be reasonably fine. We'll attach that there. That's not the angle I wanted. Hang on. I'm going to detach that, and I'm going to place it like this. That's a better angle. Okay, so that looks good. At this point, we want to come over here and get some legs over this way. So that means that we're going to have to head over this direction and grab a couple off of this guy. Which, this is kind of convenient that it's upside down in this regard, because we can grab these very easily. So that seems good. We're going to detach these. And I'm going to place it there. Is it going to retract? That's a negative. Okay, that's fine. We don't actually, well, we would maybe want it to retract. Okay, well, we'll just set it here for now. So these are in their extended state, and that's probably reasonably fine. So now we're going to need to move these on over. And keep in mind, in the meantime, we're building up our amount of fuel in this tank. So that's the goal right now. We could be warping time forward and do it that way, but, I mean, we've got construction we need to do anyway. So we might as well kill two birds with one stone, right? That's how that phrase goes, and it actually is how that phrase goes. I didn't even mess up the phrase. Fantastic. So we're going to move these on up and just get this attached in here. Once they're attached there, we should be in a... Yeah, we're too far here. We should be in a position where we can extend all of our legs, although I will quick save before that happens because there might be problems that happen because of that. How much ore storage do we have on that thing? There's actually quite a lot. We have a bunch of radial tanks, so that's fine. That, of course, means that it'll continue mining after it fills up the fuel tank. It'll continue mining until it fills all of the ore tanks, but it won't run the Convertitron. And the fuel... Ooh, that's going to be a problem, isn't it? Actually, it isn't. They were clipped together. I thought we were going to have a physics issue there. Okay, well, let's just move this up over here. Perfect. Okay, so as I was saying, this is going to take a long time to fill all of this, and some of this heat dissipation, I think, is coming from the Convertitron. I don't think this is actually requiring 3 to cool this Drill-O-Matic. So that's definitely interesting to note. Now, this is where we run into a potential physics issue. I'm going to quick save. Or actually, we need to cancel this first. Then I'm going to quick save. And we're going to put this on, but this is a potential problem here. And the reason why this is a potential problem is because we're going to put it on like this. And that's going to give us a big kick, I think, physically. Whoa, I didn't attach it. That was interesting, for sure. I have no idea where that thing went. That's definitely not how physics works, for sure. So let's reload the save that I just made. Like I said, that was very likely to have physics issues. So let's reload this save instead of chasing that thing down, and I'll actually attach it this time. I didn't attach it before, and actually it looked like that wasn't going to reach the ground, so that's fine? Theoretically? Like, I don't think it'll actually cause a physics issue if I actually attach it. So I want to grab this one that's further away out here, ideally. There we go. And then we attach it like this. Something funky about that angle. I just attached it. And it did the same thing again. Okay, that physics is really wacky. I think it has to do with this thing here. This is a big problem, and you can see how it just kind of floats around and causes us issues. for the moment, I'm going to reload this again, and I'll be right back once this is properly loaded. Okay, so here we are properly loaded up, and I think, yeah, look at this. That Stampatron just changes its position so much. So we can't really rely on a Stampatron. That's understood. I'm going to place this guy here right now. And I think what we need to do is we need to come over and we need to get this side first. And once again, this might cause some physics issues. In fact, this side probably will cause physics issues. If we attach this here, I definitely expect there to be physical issues here. Okay. That's maybe manageable. I think that's fine, actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, and we are going to... Well, actually, we should hop into the Stampatron 1. So that's this guy here. And Tenand is inside of here right now. What I want to do is I want to extend this leg to try to push us back. That didn't work quite as well as I'd hoped. We're doing a lot of sliding here right now, and that is understood. And there's some rolling happening too. Okay. So the thing that's holding us up right now, and this is a lot of sliding. Oh, wow. This is some weird physics happening. Actually, our sliding is kind of coming to a halt right now. The thing that's holding us up right now is this solar panel, which is, you know, definitely not ideal. Let's hop over to Dunvin here and see if Dunvin can give this a little bit of a push. So I want to move Dunvin out over this way, and going away from this Stampatron is not a bad thing. So I just want to see if Dunvin can push this a little bit, although I'm concerned about breaking that solar panel. Okay. Dunvin decided to fall over instead. Cool. So what we need to do then is we need to find a way to get more weight over here. Right? Whoa. Hang on. Is just Dunvin enough? No. I don't think that's the case. Yeah, that's definitely not the case. Okay, so this is a little bit awkward for sure at this point. Now, this, of course, happened because this was put on the way it was, right? This is not realistic at all. I'm going to reload this yet again, and we are going to try that a slightly different way, and I'll show you how in just a moment. Okay, so here we are back in this position, and here's what I'm going to do. So we're going to step back here, we're going to grab this landing strut, and we're going to mount this in a useless orientation. That is to say, we're going to mount this something like this. It doesn't matter how it gets mounted here, this is fine. The problem here is that these are starting off in an extended orientation, right? Or not even orientation, in an extended mode. So we need to put them on there. And then we need to hop over to the actual colony, which we really need to rename the colony from the Stampatron Ground Anchor 1, but we just want to retract these at this point. So there we go. Those are now... That hit the Stampatron as it was moving. Okay. I'm going to extend these landing legs at this time, and let's see what happens if we re-extend this one. Those have so much pushing force to them, it's insane. There's no way they should be able to move it this much, but are we falling correctly? Almost. We're almost falling correctly. I wonder what happens if we retract this guy. Hello? And now we re-extend it because that's going to cause problems. Okay. So we're sliding a little bit right now. That's understood. This is not surprising. This is, of course, because we're on these landing legs. And we should definitely be starting our drill again. There we go. Why is he building up heat? That's interesting. It shouldn't be building up heat. All of these radiators are active here. Okay. And yes, we are sliding very slightly downhill. We can do something about that, but for the moment, what I want to do is I want to just hop over to Dunvin. And we've got this in a reasonable orientation at this time. So Dunvin is going to hop over to here and is going to properly affix these. So for now, we're just going to detach this one, and I'm going to put it down here. I'm going to detach this one, which is in the extended position right now. That's understood. And I want to attach it there. Okay. Next, we're going to grab this guy, and we're going to attach it right about here, but we need it to be pointing this way. We're too far away. Noted. We're going to have to head over this direction, grab it, and move it. I think we stopped sliding. That's good. Okay. Now we're going to grab this thing, and we're going to attach it going this way. Like that. And then hit our head. Perfect. Well, we're away from the Scampatron ground anchor, so that's something. Let's go ahead and grab on here and hop in at this time. So what I want to do is I want to extend out this leg. So as you can see, we're at a bit of a jaunty angle, and neither of these legs are reaching the ground at this time. So that, of course, is indicating that we have a lot of weight being borne over here, which isn't surprising considering our angle. So for now, this is good enough. It's not great, but it's good enough. We'll make some adjustments over here as we get some of this taken apart. That should be absolutely fine. For now, what I want to do is I want to quick save here. We're in a good spot, and I want to... Okay, our core temperature here is dropping. That looks ideal. Core temperature here is dropping as well. Okay, so I want to check in on our amount of liquid fuel here. So we're not making a lot of it, but if we warp forward, we can see this is at 5x, and it's making some progress. This is at 10x. Okay. This is at 50x, and we're definitely building up some amount of liquid fuel and oxidizer. So that's looking good. Insufficient resource abundance. What? I don't know what was saying that. Probably one of the drills up here that are bugged. That seems fine. So for now, this is okay. Now, we know that we are making some fertilizer, or rather, we're using some fertilizer here. We're making oxygen, and we're also... We should be making food here, right? So that's all fine. We're definitely working on getting all of this going. We want to get some power over here. We want to get some additional fuel over here. So taking this apart is going to be a pretty big deal. And I would also like to have a little bit more space out over this way. So expanding out this direction would be good. As far as these legs go, neither of them are currently on the ground. They're mostly just being used for safety right now, and that's reasonably fine. It seems like our weight is a little skewed over on this side, which surprises me, actually. I expected the weight to be more skewed to this side. But for now, this is going to be fine. This is absolutely okay, and we will continue to work on disassembly and getting this colony a little bit more online soon enough. But first, of course, we need to get enough fuel in here. So I think our next step is probably to get this thing fully disassembled and grab this fuel tank, attaching that probably about right here. And once that's done, we may want to move these legs back as well, because that's going to be a fair amount of weight back over here. So that's definitely something to think about. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge Esquio, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.